I've just got a few updates to give. Family life of the church. So we're going to talk a little bit about leadership and a little bit about money. And as we do this, I want us to hold in mind our values. Okay, so quick pub quiz moment. We've got 3 values that we talk about a lot at Emmanuel. One begins with G, one begins with H, one begins with C. Can we remember what they are? Generosity, honouring, and courage. Beautiful. So hold in mind as we go through this, it's more. We've moved from a beautiful time of sung worship into more of an update on administrative in many ways life of the church. But this is still a key part of our worship that I'd like together as a family. So, firstly, a recap of leadership, and this builds on what was shared on the 5th of February. So we had a Vision Sunday as a church last month. So up until now, Jude and Dave, who planted the church back in 2020, have led the church, and legally we've been part of our sending church from Oxford, Emmanuel Oxford, who were planted from that church, and we've remained under the governance, if you like, of their church and their charity. And announced on the 5th of February was that we're in the process of launching our own charity locally. So part of our maturity to moving from church plant to church is the establishing of this charity. And we're hoping to have that up and running in the new financial year in April. So every charity in the UK is run by a board of trustees, and we were introduced to that team. So Ben Leach, Ben Bradbrook, Ali Hatton and Dave are our team of trustees. So they're the ones behind the scenes who are looking at governance and recruitment and safeguarding and so on. So that team of trustees will work alongside this team. Here we are. So the leadership team remains as it is. So Jude and Dave and Faith and Hannah and myself. And if you're on the mailing list, so if you've filled out a Get Connected card once upon a time and you're on the Church Suite system, you'll have received an email this week from someone called Matt. So Matt Partridge is the pastor of the church in Oxford that sent us, and Matt still has a role in our life as a family and overseeing us. And he wrote about the next stage of us as a church and about Dave's appointment as an elder. So in April, Dave is going to be brought into eldership in the church. So we're looking at the 23rd of April. And it's really significant moment in our church life. So it's similar to moving to get our own charitable status. Having local eldership is what we believe the Bible teaches about what healthy churches do. So please do read that, not just to be informed, but also because it's asking for a response. And this is important because eldership happens locally, and it's for us to accept Dave into eldership locally. Now, Dave's been here longer than all of us, so it's pretty normal and familiar seeing Dave as our leader, right? But we want to make that step, like we say, as we see in the Bible, into having local eldership appointed. So if you object, it's important you respond to Matt and say that. But if you approve, it's also important you respond and say that. So we don't want to be passive and just let that happen. We want to own this as a church. Yeah? Okay, so that's eldership. Finances. We're going to look, we've got a few slides. We're going to just talk about the year gone by, so 2022 calendar year. What does that mean in terms of where we are now financially? And what does that mean for the future as well? So calendar year 2022, we gave together over £88,000. So we don't have any external source of funding that comes to us. We were sent as a church plant, we were generously given some money. But in terms of the last financial year, we gave £88,000. And that means our income and our expenditure have pretty much matched. So we've got a sustainable local income that covers our costs, which is amazing. So well done. That's awesome. In terms of what that means for where we are now, oh look at that, yeah, the maths is good, right? So that does include our Christmas offerings, and I'm going to share in a moment how that breaks down in terms of where that spending's gone. In terms of what that means now, we have £33,800 in the bank. Sounds wonderful, doesn't it? And it might be, well, great, we're kind of flush with cash, we've got these great reserves. As a charity, we need to have reserves in place. So part of us stewarding money well and being well governed is that we do need a surplus in the bank. In terms of then where the breakdown is, and I think onto the next slide, can you see those other side of me? This is the breakdown of how money was spent across 2022. Before we look at the detail of this, it's worth mentioning, and you might remember from our finance update last year, similar thing, that the biggest outgoing in terms of spending is Dave's salary, because he's been our only full-time staff member through the year. So rather than just saying, right, here's Dave's salary and here's the other bits, what's been done is we've broken down Dave's time, how Dave's time has been given across the different areas of church life, and all of the other expenses that come into it, such as this building and all the other expenses that occur. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but I want to draw your attention to the grey box there. Of the £88,000 that we spent, we gave 24% of it away. So a quarter of the money that we're giving, we're just kind of passing on. So we gave to church plants in our Christmas offering. We've given into social action in the city as well. And isn't that wonderful? We're thinking about generosity, honor, courage. It takes courage to give that much money away when we arguably, could always do with more, and it's tempting to kind of hold on to it ourselves, isn't it? And it's amazing as well, generosity. So well done, Hannah. Okay. Evangelism and sharing our faith, that also features on here. So we've got kind of initiatives such as Alpha and the Monday Night Football that's happened, but Dave has given a large part of his time as well to training and equipping people in sharing their faith, so going around the groups and so on. And we're going to keep doing that. In terms of our income then, so that's the spending of the last year. In terms of our income, £88,000, £100, £88,100 given together, which is an increase of almost £30,000 from the year before. So again, amazing in terms of just the growth that we're seeing and the generosity there. So we're doing so well. In terms of what that means for where we are in the year ahead, because this was 2022, in the year ahead, we're looking to grow, right, as a church, in every sense. We want to grow deeper in understanding what it is to know God. We want to grow deeper in our relationships as a community, as a family. We want to grow in size. We're going to outgrow this venue. We need a bigger space. There have been prophetic words about us occupying a larger space. And all of that costs money. So that means we need to increase our income as well. So we don't want to be slowed down by a lack of income, do we, right? We want to be able to grow into all that God's calling us to. In terms of then, some challenging stats on the next slide. In terms of over the last calendar year then, in terms of percentage of regular attendance, so those that we consider Emmanuel to be home, 35% give regularly, 46% have given, excluding Christmas offering, and 56% gave during the Christmas offering. So I guess our couples are counted as well. So if you're here as a married couple, you're kind of counted as one unit in that sense. So our challenge is, Emmanuel, what would it look like if 50% or even 60% of us were giving regularly into the life of the church in 2023 and beyond? What would that mean in terms of releasing new ministries, covering the costs, being able to grow? We need admin support for Dave, don't we? We want to be able to fund that and support that. So Dave is going to teach at the moment on giving, but this just gives a bit of transparency to set the scene in terms of seeing where we're at the moment. So we've got a huge vision. We want to help people meet Jesus, to encounter God's life-transforming presence, know his peace, and flourish in his purposes. And we desire this not just for individuals, but our dream is to play our part in seeing the communities of Sheffield flourish. So giving is a key part of our worship. Dave's going to teach on that. And just before Dave comes up, I'm going to pray for us. All right? Great. And if we're going along tonight, there'll be more on this. We want to be transparent and open-handed with information. So if you haven't done the Intro to Emmanuel course, Make Emmanuel Home, do go along, because there's just not enough time on Sunday morning to go into the detail we can. So let's pray.